11, and this is your weekly market outlook. Today we'll be breaking down the key market levels, identify potential trading opportunities, and establish our directional bias for the week ahead. With that being said, let's get right into the chart. So for this week market outlook, we'll be starting out with the DXY, which is the dollar index. So what I want to do when I first get into the chart is identify the directional bias. Two things I want to do whenever I get into the chart is, one, identifying the direction of the market. Secondly, I plot out my support and resistance zone in order for me to know where I will be taking buy or sell from. So on the weekly time frame, we can clearly see that the DXY has rejected this particular zone 3 times. This is like a triple bottom. So we can clearly see that the direction of this market is bullish. So how do we trade with the bullish move? Let's go to the daily time frame and look out for market structure. So on the daily time frame, we can see this was the last high. From this move, you see we have lower low, lower high, low high, low. So this was the last high before we got this breakout around here. Then the market came back into this zone. After the first breakout, it came back into the previous support zone here. Now it's using it as a support around here too, to move above. So we got to break above this zone. What I want to see on this market is for the market to retest this level and continue upward. 101,946 is my target overall on the DXY. My target on this market is okay, let me just put the market 102. This is my target overall. But there is still a resistance level around here that needs to be taken out. So if the market is to break above this level, then we want to see the market heading to the next zone. Remember, the market moves from zone to zone. So for this week, I want to see a retest into this 99,500. 99,500, then we'll catch this move on the pullback to the next zone. So that is that for the DXY. Since we've already identified the direction of the DXY, let's get right into the weekly outlook. So the first pair on our list is AUDJPY. Like I said last week, I'm still very much bullish on this pair. Although the market structure on the daily, it's not the cleanest, but even on the weekly, you can see we've been stuck in this particular zone. Although I would not like to be taking this type of trade, but I'm still very bullish on this pair until the market does otherwise. And the reason I am bullish is if you take a look at this daily market structure, you see that clearly the market has been creating higher highs and higher lows. The market has been bullish, higher highs and higher lows. This was the last low before this breakout. So let's plot out our zone. This was the last resistance level. As you can see, there is a break and close above this zone. And where did the move start from? It started from this support right here. So immediately we break above this zone, we want to start looking for reasons to buy this market. So the market has not been giving us clear reason to buy this market at this moment, but I will be looking out for change of character on this zone on the smaller time frame to take this buy. However, if this market decide not to go back into this resistance level, then I'll be waiting for the market to break below this support level, retesting it, and then go bearish. But for now, as long as the daily is still bullish, we are having a new high here, then I am bullish overall on this market. This is not the cleanest move, but this is not the cleanest of market structure, but I'm still very bullish here. So next on our list we have USD card. Remember, the DXY is the dollar index. If DXY is bullish, then USD card is expected to be bullish too. If dollar is bearish, USD card is also expected to be bearish. Then if the dollar index is bullish, GBP USD is expected to be bearish. Then if USD is bearish, GBP USD should be bullish. So since we are bullish on the DXY, then overall I'm also bullish on the USD card. So if we go into the weekly time frame now, you can also see that there has been a rejection around this zone. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5. The market rejected this zone about 5 to 6 times, and this was where we got the highest momentum from. Immediately we got this last rejection here, we have this push. So the market is interested in these highs. So how do we participate in this bullish move? That's where we go to the daily time frame to draw out our support and resistance zone. As you can see clearly, this was our last high, and the market broke out from this high, came back to retest this level, giving us a double bottom here. Now we have a new high in the market, breaking above this resistance level. So what I want to see on this market is for the market to come back and retest either of this zone. I want the market to pull back into this level right here. Then we'll catch it on the pullback. So it's not that, it should not be that complicated. If I get a pullback into this level around here, I want to look for reasons to start buying this market back into this resistance level of 1.41387. So on USD card, bullish or nothing. So next on our list we have GBP JPY. GBP JPY has been consolidating a lot around this level. We are not getting a huge momentum. Remember last week I said we still have our chart here. I said I'm bullish and this is the next level I'll be looking for to take profit on GBP JPY. So GBP JPY took out liquidity around here, and then it's just I think I will not be interested in this pair anymore. However, if you get a reason to, if you are a day trader, you should be looking out to buy this pair. But as a swing trader, I told you guys the last time, I like to take the whole leg of a particular move. So if I would have taken buy in this market, but I should have started buying from this zone back into this high. Then when the market got into this level, I had no reason to, it did not meet up to my entry criteria. That is why I am not taking a buy on this particular pair. So I'm just going to be watching, either buying above this level or watching what the market will do around this level. So for now, I'll be sitting my hands down on GBP JPY. So next on our list we have GBP USD. GBP USD, we are bearish on this pair. I'm very much bearish on this pair. So this is the weekly, although the weekly is not that clean. So going into the daily time frame, it's even better. Around here we have a double top. This was our last support level, so the market broke out from this support level using it as a resistance. I would have loved for this market to come back into this level right here, pull back into this level. This is where I'll be looking at to start selling this particular market, but the market did not get back to this level, so I'm not interested in this level anymore. If you remember last week, I said if we get a breakout from this level, I'll be looking to sell this market around here or back into this 1.34486. But if the market rejects this level, then 1.35117 is where I'll be interested in taking sales from. So going into next week, I want GBP USD to pull back into this level of resistance, and then this is where I'll be taking my sell down to this level. The market also have a right, the market has the right to retest into this level, but I will not be interested in this. Even if the market comes back into this level, I'm still going to take sell, but this particular level is where I will be looking at to take sell from. So as long as the market rejected this level, I want to take sell from here. But if the market decides to keep pushing down from this level, I'll just look for a retest here and then sell this market. But since I'm getting a rejection here on GBP USD, I'm selling or nothing. So that's that for GBP USD. Then moving to the next, I think this is the last on our list. We have Euro USD. As long as we are bullish on the DXY, every USD quote currencies will be bearish. So on the DXY, okay, let's start from the weekly. We have a rejection on the weekly time frame around here. Then we have a new low around here. We have a new low right here. Then going into the daily time frame, let's start drawing our support and resistance level. This was the last daily low. When the market broke out from this level, I would have loved the market to tap back into this particular level. This is where I would have loved this market to start selling from, like this. But the market refused to tap into this zone. So we have a break of this support level, retest. Now we have a new breakout of this support level. So I want the market to use it as a resistance. I want the market to tap back into this level, and then boom. The market also have every right to come back into this level to retest, but when the market tap into this level, I'll start looking for selling opportunities in the market. So for Euro USD, bearish on this pair. I'm not looking to take any buys. This is a bearish market structure on the daily time frame. So I want this video to be very short. For this trend line, the reason I'm adding this trend line here is, like I said the last time, Euro USD, a counter trend trend line works effectively on Euro USD than it does on every other pair. So we have first touch, second touch, then I extended it into the future. You see the market broke out from this level. There is a support and resistance level around here, and I want the market to also tap into this trend line here. Then I'll catch it on the after catching it on the pullback. I want to see reasons to sell this market back into the lows. So going into next week, I'm looking for only sales on Euro USD. So that is it for this week market outlook. If you found this video valuable, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the Zone Trading, and turn on post notifications so you never miss any updates. And let me know your market bias in the comments below. I'm 11, and once again, trade with discipline, manage your risks, and remember the market rewards only the patient. Stay in the zone, and I'll see you on the next one.